Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, we're going to take a look at Cinderella and Bluebird at skill level 4, 5, and 6. And if you guys haven't checked out the video for skill level 1, 2, and 3 yet, definitely check that video out because in that video, I do cover some of her base stats and also the strategy that I use for Cinderella and Bluebird. And it's really important to understand the strategy first before looking at these higher skill levels. And if you're looking for that video, I'll link it into the description below and also link it to the top right hand corner here. So check that video out and then come back here to check out skill level 4, 5, and 6. And if you've already seen that video, then you're at the right place. This is the one you want to check out. And just to preface it, that when I recorded these videos, or these gameplays I haven't practiced a lot with Cinderella and Bluebird. So now that I've used it for a long time, I've actually significantly improved the coin earning potential for Cinderella and Bluebird. So I'll get into some of the improvements that I've made a little bit later. But the strategy to using Cinderella and Bluebird is relatively simple. What you first want to do is when you start the game, you want to prioritize activating Bluebird. Bluebird will create a bunch of Cinderellas onto the screen. And then once those Cinderellas are created, what you want to do is check the bottom left hand corner to see how much of Cinderella's ability you've already charged up. So as I referenced in the first video that I mentioned, in order for you to activate Cinderella and also Bluebird, you need to charge up 15 copies of each to activate their ability. So now that you know 15 is what you would need, if your bar is about half full, at that point you should know that you need about 7 or 8 Cinderellas cleared to activate her ability. So you don't want to clear more than 7 or 8, and that's because anything that you clear additional will go into the second charge up. So after you activate Bluebird's ability, you'll have a bunch of Cinderellas, and then you clear, let's say, just enough to activate Cinderella's ability. But after you activate Cinderella's ability, what her ability will do is do a X-shaped cross blast that will clear in an X shape. And if there are Cinderellas there, then that will also activate her second ability. So you want to prioritize Bluebird first, but in the scenario where you first start the game and you try to charge up Bluebird, but you ended up charging Cinderella first, go ahead and just activate that ability, because in theory, you should also clear a little bit more of Cinderellas after that. But after that ability is activated, you want to focus on Cinderella. So generally the pattern that you should go with Cinderella and Bluebird is activate Bluebird first and then Cinderella's ability second. And if you are doing it correctly, you should get a second Cinderella ability off before having to charge up Bluebird again. And then ultimately you just want to rinse and repeat that strategy. And then one thing to note is that it could be helpful to have a magic bubble in the bottom center area, because that will help speed up the animation when you are trying to clear a bunch of Tsums off the screen. So those are really my major 2 tips and tricks on using Cinderella and Bluebird at the higher skill levels, and a lot of which is very similar to the lower skill levels. So let's take a look at the animation broken down into 2 components. So we have Bluebird here, and let me slow down this animation so we can analyze it. Bluebird will put on her hood and then fly in an X shape across the screen, generating a bunch of Cinderellas. Now, I've compared skill level 1 through skill level 6, and I didn't find any major difference in this component. So regardless if you have skill level 1 Bluebird or skill level 6 Bluebird, it didn't matter. Generally, I got anywhere between 22 to 24 Tsums changed into Cinderellas. So as long as you get that range, then that's perfect. And keep in mind, you only need 15 Cinderellas to activate her second ability. So as long as you have roughly 2/3 of Cinderellas left on the screen, then you'll be able to automatically activate that second ability. So at this point, I'm going to pause it here again. So if you look at all of these gameplays, I've over cleared Cinderellas on the screen. All of these charge ups that I've had were well above the halfway mark, so I probably should have only cleared anywhere between 4 to 5 Cinderellas off the screen before I activated her ability again. So I've wasted a little bit of Cinderellas in this situation, but in any case it didn't matter too much because I was still able to activate that second ability right afterwards. Okay, now let's shift our focus over to Cinderella and let me slow it down similar to Bluebird. So when you activate Cinderella's ability, she will come out and then she'll spin around and create the same X shape. It's going to be very similar to Bluebird's. It's going to be in that exact same spot, but in this case the skill range does matter. So as you level up Cinderella and Bluebird, this skill range is going to change. The higher the skill level, the bigger the X is going to be. So this is why you want to level up Cinderella and Bluebird, is because it will activate abilities a lot quicker. At skill level 4, I got a chain of 25. Skill level 5, I got a chain of 26, and skill level 6, I got a chain of 28. So if this is your first ability activated, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the clears here should go into the second charge up. So let me resume it here. So as you can see, I was able to charge up either Cinderella or Bluebird, and depending on where you are in the game, you may want to hold off on activating the ability. So really using Cinderella and Bluebird is really about time management and always monitoring how much charge up you have for Bluebird or Cinderella. You'll also need to be careful of which cycle you're on, and I'll repeat it again because it's important. The cycle that you want to follow is use Bluebird and then Cinderella twice and repeat that cycle. And using that second Cinderella afterwards, you should have cleared some Bluebirds off the screen, and Bluebird wouldn't be completely empty, so you should have at least somewhat of a charge up. So once your Bluebird is fully charged up at that point, then just clear just enough Cinderellas off the screen to have her charge up. So it's okay to activate Bluebird's ability before Cinderella is charged up, and actually that is what you want to do. You want to activate Bluebird's ability, so that way there's a bunch of Cinderellas on the screen, so that way you could clear just enough to charge up Cinderella and then activate Cinderella twice. So that way 2 blasts equals 2 long chains, therefore earning you more coins. But for this video, I do want to skip forward ahead and show you what my coin earnings were for these 3 game demonstrations. Cinderella and Bluebird at skill level 4, I got 3,365 coins, and at skill level 5, I got 3,725, and finally at skill level 6, I got 3,904. So these were okay numbers, and keep in mind that these gameplays were not really amazing because I haven't perfected Cinderella and Bluebird, but I've been playing her for about 2 months now, and she's actually really awesome. I have her now at level 50, so I'm definitely going to be doing an updated video on Cinderella and Bluebird, but she's one of my favorites out of all the pair Tsums that's currently out. So I highly do recommend you to invest your resources into Cinderella and Bluebird if you have the skill tickets. She's going to make your gameplay a lot easier, especially if you don't have any high coin earners. So what I also want to show you guys is a comparison between skill level 1 through 6, so that way you can see the gradual increase that I had when I was initially playing Cinderella and Bluebird. And at skill level 1, you could tell that it's still pretty good because as a skill level 1 Tsum, if you could get anywhere in the 2000, that's considered pretty awesome. So if you have only 1 copy of Cinderella and Bluebird, she's already going to be pretty effective. And I was able to get 2,000 or so coins, and even the score is pretty decent, so it's not too bad. And right now for these demonstration, the scores are relatively low because Cinderella and Bluebird is at a low level. Once you get her to level 50, she is a stronger performer. In terms of the coin earnings, it's doubled to skill level 1. And more so now when I'm recording this audio, my average now for Cinderella and Bluebird is actually in the 4,000s to 5,000, so a bigger improvement there. So I definitely would recommend Cinderella and Bluebird. I'll come up with a future update relatively soon, maybe in February, on an updated video for Cinderella and Bluebird and just show you my gameplays. But that's pretty much it for Cinderella and Bluebird at skill level 4, 5, and 6. So I hope you guys found this video helpful in using Cinderella and Bluebird. And if you have any questions about how to use Cinderella and Bluebird or improve in my process, definitely leave it in the comments below. I'll be sure to read every single comment. And as always, I really appreciate everybody subscribing to this channel, and thank you so much for watching.